Good morning. And yes, I cleaned that windshield off the best I could. The bugs were pretty bad yesterday. I just washed this truck the other day, so I'm probably not going to wash it again. I don't know. If I get back to the office in Greeley, I'll get it washed up there, but I'm not going that direction. Today I'm going to Sherman, Texas. As soon as I have enough time, show enough time for my pre-trip, which I've already done. I already walked around the truck. I got a bad habit of doing that. Before my break is up, I get out and walk around and kick the tires and check things, and then when I go on duty for my pre-trip, I just sit here and wait a respectable amount of time before I go. I just kind of do it backwards. So yeah, we're gonna head down to Sherman, Texas. This load was supposed to be delivered this morning, but I didn't have any hours. I got back here to Holcomb, Kansas, and from Enid, Oklahoma, and I didn't have any hours. I had like less than a half hour. So I just picked the load up at the plant, which is right in front of us. You can see the lights out there, and come up here and parked and went to bed. I really would have liked to have run this overnight, but I just didn't have the time. So anyway, so we're going to take off now. And it's a little under 8 hours from here to Sherman. It's not a huge deal. It's Tyson to Tyson, you know. We just didn't have anybody else pick it up. That's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes we get so busy, we just don't have enough trucks, man. My boss gave it to me yesterday. I called him. I said, dude, you realize I don't have that? Yeah, I realize it. Don't worry about it. Do it all on the up and up. Do it all legal. You're good. You're fine. It's not a big deal. Already talked to him. I thought maybe I could get down to Liberal or somewhere down, or maybe sneak into across the Texas line, but no, I didn't. But that stupid 14-hour clock, I had to sit around and wait in Enid to get unloaded. It was a live unload. So, stupid 14-hour clock ticking away. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have had enough time to get 100 miles south at least, but it is what it is, man. It happens. Nothing I can do about it. It's just going to be a long day. You got to pull in the Tyson with 3/4 tank of reefer fuel, so I'll have to stop at that little Love's in Wichita Falls, Texas. Anybody been in that Love's knows that's one of those places where all the guys pull in, park on the fuel island, get out of their truck, and that's it. You got to sit there and wait, or go in there and start raising hell, because it's an old Love's, one of them back when they were just a little fuel stop, and that's what they were meant for, getting fuel and leaving. You know, a lot of guys don't realize that the old Loves back in the day, and the old Pilots were the same way back in the day, and you still have some of these places, Casey's, Maverick, I don't know, some of the QTs. They're fuel stops. In other words, you get fuel, you leave. Maybe you run in there, use the bathroom or something, grab a drink or whatever, and you leave. It's not, I'm going to sit here and take a 10-hour break. I mean, there are some of them that they do have limited truck parking for things like that, but for the most part, it's get your fuel and leave. didn't. Here's my turn. I don't know why I thought, there's a big sign that says no right turn. I don't know why I thought that was my turn. Anybody who's ever loaded at this Tyson IBP plant in Holcomb, if you want to go south on 83 out of there, we always take this back way. It's a truck route. It goes by this school, but it's a truck route. Our local driver around here showed me this a long time ago. I used to get up and take the bypass around Garden City and go through the red lights and all that. He said, man, don't do that. He said, take the back way. What do you mean the back way? Because I know you can't, it's no trucks, you know, through Garden on the main drag there. He said, no, don't do that. And he showed me this way. Just got to be careful. There's a Holcomb cop that sits up here right there where it goes from 30 mile an hour to 55 mile an hour. And he wants you to completely pass the sign before you speed up. I mean, completely. He was sitting there one day and I was at the sign and I started to speed up and he hit his lights. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, dude. Really? So I waited till my trailer cleared the sign before I sped up to make him happy, because it's Holcomb, Kansas, and he probably has nothing better to do. So just watch yourself through here, but it's a good little shortcut to take you out to 83 South. Now if you're going 50 east toward Dodge or something, yeah, it's not really feasible, but if you're going, you know, down toward Liberal, toward Texas or something, it's a good way to go. I see where the state of Indiana's caught a bunch of illegal drivers. Man, they're stacking them deep and selling them cheap, man. I think one thing that really irritates me is, for some reason, the CHP, you know, California Highway Patrol, they pop up on my Facebook a lot where they talk about, oh yeah, we caught this truck and he had a cracked rim and we're all about safety and all this. I'm like, you turned a blind eye to all these illegal drivers for a long time. I really don't, and I put it in the comments, I don't know, I might get a knock on my door one day. Because, you know, it's like, I don't want to hear from you, CHP. I don't want to hear from you talk about safety. You know, I don't want to hear it. Right here it's a 65, so yeah, it's 65. He'll sit right here sometimes. And he wants you to completely pass that sign before you speed up. And to be fair, I haven't seen him in a while. Of course, I just came back from Alaska not too long ago, but this is probably my second time running this. So I don't know if he still sits there or not, but he used to. But anyway, yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to hear it from the CHP, man. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from the CHP. I don't want to hear it from the state of New Mexico. I really don't even want to hear it from the state of Arkansas. Like I said, they're cracking down now, but they weren't before. I'm not anti-cop. I'm not anti-law enforcement. I'm really not. I've had a lot of positive, you know, reactions with law enforcement out here. I've had some negative reactions, you know, in encounters as well. And I told a story about the cop in Montana that apologized to me for, you know, just being a douche, which is what he was being at first. And he come back and apologized. You know, so I'm sorry, it's been a long day. Blah, blah, whatever. I get it, man. We're all human, you know. But I do not want to hear from any of these states or law enforcement agencies that let this go on for so long and did nothing about it. That let these guys go. Arkansas there's video. There's dash cam video And any truck driver out there knows it. If this were you, they would not let you go. There's dash cam video of these guys pulling these illegal drivers over. They either have no logbook or they're driving off duty, and the cop lets them go. Would not happen to an American driver. Would not. No way. I'm sorry, it wouldn't. The most he might let you do is drive down the next exit or something to a truck stop or a rest area. That's it. That's it. But they're not going to just let you go. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, CHP. I don't want to hear it, Arkansas Highway Police. I don't want to hear you talk about safety. Oklahoma can talk about safety. And I'll be honest, I don't know how deep the rot goes in my home state of Texas. Because it was going on there. Now, Governor Greg Abbott tries to act like, he's all tough on it now. But he wasn't before. So I don't know how far, I don't know if the DPS, the Texas Highway Patrol was involved or not. I don't know. They run the DMV in Texas. You go get your license renewed in Texas, you go to a DPS office that's run by the DPS, the Department of Public Safety. They run the Texas Highway Patrol, they run the Texas Rangers. So were they in on it? I don't know. And I'm sure a lot of people are sick of hearing about it. I get it. But you can't let this stuff go. And and people want to say, oh, there you go, complaining again. Yeah, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, man. You're damn right. And I'll keep complaining about it. Because if you don't, which people haven't been for a long time, we get to this situation, right? They want to make sure you see that pole, man. They want to make sure you stop right there. They got that pole lit up. But yeah, unfortunately, people have to die before anything gets done. And I put that in a comment because there was a news story about what's going on in Indiana with them cracking down on these guys finally. And I put that in the comments, I said, look, we've been talking about this for years in the trucking industry, and we have. Look, the drivers have anyway. And I said, unfortunately, people have to die before everyone else wakes up. And somebody said, oh no, we just needed the president, with the guts to do something about it. And I'm thinking, no one did anything about it his first term, and I'm not busting on Trump over it. I'm just saying, but it's true. It wasn't high on the radar. Now, he had a different transportation secretary then, and I get that. He's got a transportation secretary now that actually knows something about the transportation industry. And maybe that's part of it. That's fine, that's great, if that's the case. But no one, Republican, Democrat, Independent, no one gave a rat's backside about this until people started dying. And to be fair, a lot of people probably didn't even know what was going on. Because we had transportation secretaries in the last administration and in Trump's first administration that really didn't know much about the transportation industry, so they probably didn't even have a clue. And that's why you hire people who know something about the business that they're regulating. watch your speed through here. Garden City loves to pull over trucks. Now, to be fair to Garden City cops, one time, I think the first time I did this, I missed a turn. I went the wrong way. Right there where that pole's all lit up, I turned left and then right instead of right and then left. So I went down that street that's not a truck route. And there was a Garden City cop. And I said, oh crap, he's going to... He didn't. He probably realized I made the wrong turn and knew where I was going, so he left me alone. He could have had me, but he didn't. So I'll give them their props there. But watch your speed, though. They will pull you over. Like this right here, you can't see around this tree to my left very good, but well, it's the day after Halloween, so everybody will start decorating for Christmas. Thanksgiving gets no respect. Really would have liked to have run this overnight. Got into Sherman about 4 in the morning or something. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Hoping one day they'll make a 4-lane out of this between here and Liberal. But I'll probably keep hoping until I die. It'll never happen, so. They have added a couple of passing lanes to it. Kansas does not like building 4-lane highways. They do everything they can to not do it. They did make it a 4-lane between Cimarron and Dodge City on 50. I was shocked. They didn't do it from Cimarron to Garden City, though, or from where the 4-lane starts before you get to Garden City. But I'll take what I can get. It's not going to be an overly long video because, as you can see, there's not much to see. I mean, there's not much to see out here in the daytime. It's just flat, you know, farmland, ranch land, a lot of hay, cows. Can't even see that now. November, and I haven't even run into any snow since I've been down here yet in the lower 48. Of course, it was snowing when I left Alaska, or snowing my last couple of trips up the haul road. I saw a little snow on the ground in Wyoming the other day, but it's going to be a short winter. I don't know. Or what it'll probably do, it'll probably be decent for a while, and then the bottom will just fall out, and we'll just get like a blizzard or something. From here to Amarillo, it'll just. I've seen that happen running down to Amarillo, Texas, between Garden City and Amarillo. Just, you know, the sky just open up and just get a full-fledged blizzard across here. There's nothing to stop the wind. There's no trees in Kansas to speak of, no trees in West Texas to speak of, and the wind just howls. I'll tell you a positive cop story. Excuse me. I was coming down this road one time, and speed limit 65. Most of us run 65 to 70. I've seen guys run 72, and they don't really bother you too much across here. They had a prime truck. Now I know prime trucks are governed down pretty low, but this guy was doing like 54 mile an hour across here. Steady 54. I mean, he wasn't going up a hill or anything. Uphill, downhill, flat ground, 54 mile an hour. And there was me and like 4 or 5 other people stacked up behind this guy. And there was somebody behind me. I didn't know who it was at first. And all of a sudden, this guy comes out and starts blowing around us. I'm like, who is this guy? It was a deputy sheriff. He gets up behind the prime truck and pulls him over. Because he's impeding traffic. You're doing 54 and a 65. And I thought, yes, thank you. Thank you. No reason for that. No reason for that. He wasn't belching smoke out of the thing like he was having a problem or anything like that. He was just doing 54 mile an hour. Now, I don't know if he was a rookie driver. I don't know if he was some lease driver and he thought he could save fuel by doing 54. Let me tell you something. There's a speed where after a while it doesn't matter, right? Like I can, this truck right here, I can run 75 all day long, get 8-9 miles a gallon, depending on where I'm at, how heavy I am. You know, if I'm starting and stopping a lot, which I don't tend to do too much of. You know, 54 mile an hour, it's, look, if you can't afford to put fuel in the thing, don't drive it. I got a guy coming up behind me now. This dude's in a hurry, I guess. I don't know. I should have left earlier. I'm doing every bit of the speed limit and then some. And no, I don't slow down for them when they come to pass me. Here he comes. And he's going to hit his bright lights. You got somebody coming up in front of you, man. Yeah, that was a positive cop story. Cops in Kansas are, I don't know, man, they're strange. I don't know, they're just strange. I stopped at there's a rest area east of Garden City on 156. And I stopped there one night or one day because I picked up a load out here in Holcomb and I didn't have a lot of hours. So I said, well, I'll pick it up. I'll get out to that rest area in Garden, outside of Garden, and I'll take my break. So I parked, went to bed. I woke up once, opened the curtains, and there was a Kansas State cop parked right in front of my truck. I mean, almost touching my bumper. He was right there. Like he was sitting there, probably waiting for me to wake up. He's probably going to do an inspection. Because he was parked so close to my truck, I wouldn't have been able to move. So I kind of peeked out of the curtain and I saw him and said, oh crap, and I closed the curtains real fast again. Went back to bed. I woke up a few hours later, he was gone. Just, you know, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not playing this game. Because if I'd have opened up the curtain, if I'd have got out of the sleeper and went and sat in that seat, that'd have been it. Driver, oh, we're going to do a DOT inspection. So I said, nope, not coming out of the sleeper. Up a little bit though, because got some bear bait in front of me now. That pickup was probably doing about 75 and a 65, so I'm going to speed up just a little bit, not too much. I ain't gonna get crazy. I've had mostly positive interactions with cops, depending on the state. I went round and round with an Illinois state cop one time. The guy was just a total jerk. Then he tried to claim he drove a truck for 20 years before he became a cop. I didn't believe that. But whatever. I got pulled into a scale one time in Missouri. I was out of, this is back in the paper log days. I was out of hours and I was trying to get back home, and I got pulled in, and the guy wanted to see my logbook, and I didn't do anything to it. I was too lazy to even cheat that day. He said, "You're out of hours." I said, "Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna lie to him." I said, "Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to get home. I know." And he said, "Well, look, I can't let you just go." He said, "I'm not gonna give you a ticket." He said, "Just pull out there and park and take your break." He said, "Now, don't go out there," because there's like 3 or 4 of the trucks parked there. He said, don't go out there and start bragging to those guys about how I didn't give you a ticket. That's just between you and me. I said, "No, man, I'm not going to do that." He said, "Just go out there and take your break. Your break's over, leave." That's it. I said, "Okay." That's what I did. He didn't give me a ticket or anything. You know, he was cool about it. A lot of those guys were like that back in the day more so. Plus they had a lot more leeway to do that than they do today. I mean, they really can't do that today. They've got somebody watching them, you know. Well, unless you're illegal, then they can let you go, and you know, you're driving off duty and they can let you go, apparently. We used to get that a lot back in the day, you know. Cop pull you over, you've been running longer than you should. You know, it's like, "Look, man, just go down there and go to bed. I'm not going to give you a ticket. Just go down there to the truck stop and go to bed. Get some sleep." Anyway, I'll go ahead and end this video. There's not much going on. It's kind of boring. I just thought, I don't know, I would do a little something. Hadn't done anything since my live stream the other night. I'll probably do another one later on, down the road in the daylight. Maybe I'll do a live stream going down the road. I've had several people ask me to do that, so I might do that. I might just go live or something while I'm going down the highway. I appreciate you watching. You know, like and subscribe, share the video. I appreciate all of that. We'll see you next time.